And we are live.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. So we are here with another Kingdom Kinesis show, and we are super excited. Thank you for everyone who's here. Welcome to Kingdom Kinesis. We may have a little bit of tech difficulties, a little bit of feedback, so we apologize in advance. But we're at Kingdom Kinesis, and we inspire women to shift past their potential into active pursuit of their kingdom assignment. You can catch us on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern, that is 7 o'clock Central, my time, and Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that is 2 p.m. Central. And Katrina, if you could welcome our guest today.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us today. Today, if you're an aspiring author or seeking to publish your work, you definitely need to listen in or listen closely. Our special guest today is Teresa Seals. She's the owner of Red Bud Ave Publications, LLC, based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Teresa, welcome to Kingdom Kinesis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Please tell our audience about yourself and your business.
Okay, well, my name is actually Teresa Taylor because I'm married, but I use Teresa Seals as my name as an author and for business purposes because I've been that person for a very long time. So, most people actually have a pen name, and so at that point, that's my pen name. I am a mother. I have 5 children, 3 girls, 2 boys, 2 grandchildren, which are 8 and 2.
Wow.
And I am homeschooling right now. My career is a teacher in business education in a local high school, but I'm also homeschooling at this point my 8-year-old grandson and the 2-year-old. So just doing flashcards and stuff like that. But I have written several books, and I'm the owner of Red Bud Ave Publications, which helps other authors and aspiring writers get their work out there so people can enjoy what they've written.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, COVID-19 has impacted our lives on many different levels. So we find ourselves in a time where we have actually the space to engage in self-reflection. We can engage in some self-development. And so because of the slow pace, now it's time to really begin those projects that many of us have been procrastinating on or put to the side. So how can aspiring, writers capitalize off of the potential surge of this downtime given the circumstance?
Well, one, I would say, study the craft once, since you have the time that you can. Really study the craft to hone in on those skills in different places. Like I look on Indeed.com, and they actually have opportunities for technical writers where people are developing documents. So just utilizing search resources as those online job companies to find out, who's hiring, who's doing certain things at this time. Because one, teaching is going online. So there are a lot of things that teachers are utilizing. So some companies may be utilizing people in their capacity. So just really researching and finding out what resources are out there as well. But the number one thing that I would say is while you have the time, study it so you'll know exactly what it is that you want to do and take that time to hone in on your skills.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. So I have a question because I'm always thinking to myself, I'm going to write a book today. And then I think about it and go, I don't even know where to start. So can you kind of walk through, what that looks like, how does, if I wanted to wake up tomorrow morning and go, I want to write a book and then I want to publish it, like kind of just walk me through what those steps are from like start to finish.
Okay, so one is like what is it that you want to write? So finding out the genre or what, whatever it is that you want to write. What is it you're coming up with? What it is that you are going to write about, and once you've come up with that, then you write it. And so once you finish writing, of course, do I hold on to it? How do I let people know that it's out here? So finding ways to publish. First, you have to, get a title, get someone to, or if you are that person, design your cover, determine whether or not is it going to be an ebook, or are you going to have a hard copy of the book itself, and just determining what factors in that which you'll use. And once you know that, there are a lot of resources from, how to self-publish. I actually read books that I ordered from off Amazon. It's no particular author that I use. I just read through the process. And also, right now today, YouTube is out there, and people have so many YouTube videos to tell you the process of how to get that started. But it's really simple, and that's another thing that I would say: research that so you'll know how that works. But you'll need an ISBN number, copyright, sending things to the U.S. Copyright Office to make sure that you have your copyrights where nobody else can take your work.
That's important.
Yeah. And so then coming up, finding different publishers, not publishers, but printers, who's going to print the book, because if you want that copy of it, you're going to need someone to print that for you. And so it's companies like Amazon does some, they do printing. Barnes and Noble now does it with the Nook. And it's companies like Lightning Source. And you find, if you research it, you can find different printing companies that print most books.
So then that kind of goes to my next question. You were talking about, doing all this research and your copyrights and stuff like that. Is there any particular tools that you use, like something online or something, do you use some kind of software to help you besides Word, or something like that? Like, do you use any type of, because I'm kind of the techie mind, so I'm thinking, okay, I want to use something other than Word to kind of put my thoughts and stuff on paper. Do you use any other kind of tools other than like that?
For me, no, I don't use other tools. I use Word because that is what I'm familiar with. And that's one thing, don't go out and try to purchase these things, because people, the book industry is becoming saturated with people that are, anybody is writing books. So they have all these different formats that it shows you how to format the book. Like, you can actually write a book and it's already formatted, like a template. So it's all those different programs. So I use what I'm comfortable with. I use just Word, the word processor, Microsoft Word. I don't know if it's 2010 or whatever it is, but that's what I know how to maneuver myself through that. So I don't have to find out those, how to use those templates because they're out there. Like, you can actually write a book on your phone using those type of templates where you can just talk through the process. So if you sit and research, it is so much stuff out there that make it easy for a person to get this process done.
See, now I'm going to have to go find those tools.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're writing this book, do you have any fears when you start writing, or because again, I'm thinking to myself, I want to write a book, but then I start to get fearful, like, okay, so what should I write about, and is somebody going to read this, and am I speaking in proper English, and blah 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 blah.
I would say the number one fear is, will people like what I write? Mm-hmm. And so you can't. I was just thinking of an acronym that has something to do with fear, but I just lost my thought. But however, you're gonna have those fears because you don't know how the people are going to receive it on the other end. Mm-hmm. But just knowing that you can't please everyone, it's impossible. Just thinking about right now with what's going on in this world, they want to open it back up, but we have people that's I'm staying inside just on the strength of their fear. But you're gonna have those daredevils that's gonna, I'm going out. So you have to have that same type of, way to overcome that fear in which you may have about your book. It's like you already know that you're not gonna make everybody happy. So you have to, if you have a message and you're passionate about what it is that you're going to say, you're not going to even worry about it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Everyone isn't called to everybody. Mm-hmm. Your message is for a particular, group of people or demographic. So I think that's great that you offer that, Teresa. That makes a lot of sense. Even in scriptures, with our giftings and our talents, we're not to serve everyone that is in the body of Christ, because we're only called to certain people. And not only that, I can't reach everyone everywhere. I'm only one person. Technology's good, but it ain't that good, okay? But that's a great point to make. And when you said the acronym for FEAR, I think you were talking about false evidence appearing real.
Yes, that's it. Yes, that is it. Yeah.
So, what are some common mistakes that first-time authors make?
One is, I would say, things that comes with editing, over describing situations, just how the kids say, doing too much, just not knowing that this is enough. And so people have this, because this was me and talking to other authors, finding when I first wrote my first book, that you don't want anybody to read your work. You don't want any feedback. You want to keep it to yourself. You don't want to share it, because you're afraid that if I let you read my book, you're going to steal my idea. That's not going to happen unless you're giving it to another author, or something like that. But I don't even think people, for me, I can't tell your story the way I can tell mine. So I wouldn't, I'm not interested in telling your story. But that's one of those things that people don't want to share to get feedback. And then you have people that are not open to feedback because they already know everything. So it's kind of just when you get past those things, it is okay to share, let people read, get the feedback. Like the last book that I wrote, I actually had like 10 people that I sent the first 5 chapters just in an email. I did it in a PDF format, so you couldn't share it and all those different little things. And plus it was like, it wasn't the edited version, so I still had to go back and work on it. But I wanted to get feedback. Where do you think this story is going to go? Did it captivate you from the beginning? How can I improve it? So just basically using that, so it will help me in the process. Because like I said, when I first started, I didn't want anyone to read what I've written, because I was like, you get this, you're going to use it. And it's not the case, because everybody's not going to even sit down and write a book in the first place. So that's nothing that you should be concerned about. You just imagine how many people will say, I'm going to write this book, and it's 20 years in past and they still writing this book.
That's true. Hey, watch it. Okay, some of us run into technical difficulties. Yeah. No, but that's a great point, because I think, there's a scripture that says iron sharpens iron, like man sharpens man. And so it's important that we are open to critique, and it's in our best interest. I think it sounds like maybe what you're saying is there's a certain level of maturity you need to bring to this process.
Yes.
And a certain level of trust. And, hopefully, you're engaged in some level of prayer about who should I use as an editor. Should I use, traditional means? Should I put together a focus group? How should I approach using this? And more importantly, making sure you prepare yourself to not take it personally. Because if this is the demographic that's going to buy your book, they're telling you what's going to sell, potentially, So I get that. I think that's good. That's real good, Teresa.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Having the right circle of people, because my feelings get hurt easily. And so I send my book to somebody, and they tell me I don't like it. That may sit me down to not writing the book at all. But again, I have to be open to critique, and then I have to share it with people that I feel has my best interest. So they're not going to just put me down and say it's bad just to make me feel bad, but because they want me to bring something better.
Mm-hmm. Book reviewers, like once you put the book out, you get your book review, and book reviewers are going. Just think about Siskel and Ebert, how they did the thumbs up and all those things. You're going to have people, so you want that in the beginning process before you get to the end and publish this book and put it out there. And it's like, you should have did that in the beginning, because one thing that people you leave people hanging, you don't give them enough information, and so that's a problem that most first authors do. They have with that, because you don't give them enough. You leave the reader hanging, and you give them the thing where you know what you mean, so you're going to automatically assume that they know what you mean, and that's not the case. So those are things that, like if you have an idea, you don't have to go step by step, but, at least have the beginning and the end. You don't have to, go like all in between what's in the middle, but at least let them know where you're going and what you mean. I've read a book where you couldn't see who was having a conversation. And so, and it was the first author, so it's like I don't know who's talking. So if it's three people in the room, I need to know that Christina's saying this, I need to know that Katrina's saying this, and I need to know that Teresa's saying this. So you need to put me there so I know what's going on. So most people have that problem where you introduce the characters, and so you automatically assume that your reader is going to know who you're talking about. No, that's not the case. That's the point where when you start talking about punctuation and grammar, that you put those things in there if it's a novel that has characters.
That's interesting. Seems like there's a very thin line between having too much information and having not enough information.
Right, you're making assumptions. Like, they know what I mean. I'm just brain jumping. You know what I'm saying? Talking to one of the girls, and it's who I'm referencing right now.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Me neither.
Yeah. It's a process. And you want to go through the process in the beginning where you have those people that give you feedback. And this is the thing where you don't need that person that's going to say, yes, oh, I like it. You need somebody that's going to give you some honest feedback. Because if you have those yes men, they go, oh, it's fine. And then somebody else reading it was like, I did not get that. I don't understand what point you were trying to make. It didn't even make sense. And it was like, well, such and such loved it. You need some work. It's like those different challenges. But it all depends on what it is that what you're writing. And so my experience, because I'm a storyteller, so I'm not in my books. I do leave a message because I want you to take something from it. But there's different types of books, because you have people that write poetry, so when you think about those things, what is it that you want to get from that experience? And feedback is important.
Awesome.
Christina, you thinking?
I am processor. I'm an external processor, so that's why I'm the mouthy one, because I'm thinking while I'm talking, and Christina's over there and she's thinking all in here. It's amazing. We balance each other very well, so we're a good duo, and it's awesome. But yeah, she is over there thinking. She's gonna come back to something in a minute.
Think about any of that stuff.
She'll come back in a minute. I do want to touch upon something, because we may have some audience members tonight who have tried their hand a couple of times at writing and publishing, and things happen, right? The situation that happened with me. You said you had never experienced anything like that before, Teresa, and it just, for me, I reached a point where I said, okay, God, I keep running into the same problem over and over again. So I think I want to put this book down for a little bit and come back to it later because this is novel. No one encounters these types of roadblocks and barriers that I'm running into. And you actually commented on that, saying you had never seen anyone you assisted with publishing before encounter these types of issues. So how do you encourage someone who's been there to get back up and get back out there again? I'm starting my process again, so but for other people who may have been positioned or maybe in that position, how would you encourage them?
So when you're going down the street and you experience a roadblock, what do?
I'm just gonna get out the car and go back home. I'm gonna run back home.
So, but are you gonna stay home? So it's like if you're not here in St. Louis, but I know it's a Dr. Martin Luther King everywhere. So if you're going down Dr. Martin Luther King Avenue, Road, Street, or something, and it's a roadblock, you're gonna take a detour.
Right.
But you're still going to get to that destination that you set out to see. So the main focus, no matter what comes up, God never says no. It's just not right now.
Right.
So it's not that roadblock is there to stop you. It's for you to pick up, find another way, and take another route. So, and it's just the same thing as when publishing that book. If this is not working out. And it's the thing of it is where when you're reading and you're researching, you kind of learn the process. And so you take a step by step. And that's the one thing, like any question you have, I'm available. I talk and I teach through the process. This is what's going to happen next. So you have people that, well, this is going to cost this is going to cost that. And they're not giving you like, what am I paying it for? They're not giving you that information. So it's just basically educating yourself. So you're going to know how their process is going. And so when that roadblock happens, I already know that I need to take another route.
So it's not always period. Sometimes it's in your life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay, so I have a question. How do you come up with ideas? Do you just kind of you get downloaded, just Holy Spirit just touch you and say, Teresa, I need you to write this book because somebody needs it? Or, is it something that you've experienced or, something that you see somebody else experience or some, where do you get some of your ideas?
It's all of that. It's all of that. Like actually, it's coming from experience. I work with high school students, so just listening to those stories, having experiences with my friends. So and I have for 11 years I was the only child, so I did a whole lot of playing by myself. So having those tea parties, having this discussion with this person, making those things up. So as a writer, I go different places just the thinking process. So I can have this experience and I'm going to change it up. So because I'm a fiction writer, I don't want you to feel like, okay, I'm telling too much of this story or I'm telling your business, because we could have a conversation like this incident may be in a book, those type of things. So, but it's coming from experiences, and most people that I've talked to that have written books, they go off experience. So those experience help you become that writer. That's where you get your story to tell. And it also helped me in the beginning of my journey, because I was reading certain books and I was like, oh, I can do this. So I have this story to tell because I have this experience. So, and it's just making it where it's an entertaining piece, so because people like to reality TV is booming because people want to be in folks' business. So
you want to be in business, right? Oh gosh, that's good. You talked about the being an only child and just kind of just letting your creativity take over and your imagination. And some of that is combined with real life experience. And it was interesting because I was reading an article recently and I think it came out of like the UK or something, and it was saying that I think it's ebooks or whatever, but book sales have increased because people are looking for a way to escape right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and then we were talking about Netflix. Netflix sales have increased a lot as well. So people are really looking for a way to get out there seeking some type of relief from COVID. And so if you are an author or if you're giving something, get on it, get on the move, because there's someone somewhere that needs that. And in the process of kind of, I don't know, finding some level of reprieve from COVID, you know, if the book is more of an informational, nonfictional piece, you could definitely change someone's life. Even if it's fiction, you could change someone's life for the better. So just get on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's so many books from self-help, you know, all those different things that you can find as entertainer. What helps me is because I want to escape from the realness of, you know, things that's taking place. I actually have spent time, I'm starting to write a new book, you know, just to sit down and do those things because of me being at home. So, you know, just trying to stay occupied with that. I wanted to take some time to read, but I said I can work on me and then spend time, you know, reading someone else's work.
No, I like that because here we believe at Kingdom Kinesis, we believe in partnering with God, partnering with community, partnering with yourself. And you just said something very important. I need to partner with myself first so that I can give to community. Mm-hmm. And we have to learn, especially as women, you know, we'll give and give and give and give and do and do and do. And we will pour into everyone else's mission. We will pour into everyone else's purpose. We will pour into all of their projects and everything that we need to do for ourselves so that God has given us to do. We just kind of scoot to the side, you know, and so that I think it's very important what you just said as an author. Look, I had to sit down and make sure my needs were taken care of so that I'm in a better place to help someone else. It's like putting on your mask first when you're on the airplane, right? They tell you to put that mask on yourself and help the person that's next to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, we have just a few minutes left, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of tell everyone, how can we find your book?
Well, actually, if you reach out on my website, which is Red Bud Ave Publications, it's an email address. If you send me the information, use PayPal, and I'll ship it off. And it's also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And if you were to go into a bookstore and they don't have the book, if you request it, they will order it for you as well. Oh. So that's another process. Yeah.
Okay, so we actually have a question out here. So Lonnie's asking, how do you discipline yourself to write practically? Do you follow a routine, set a timer, etc.? That's a good question.
You know what's so funny? I always say that the most important thing to have is discipline and consistency. And so you have to, just like when you're going to work for someone, you have to have a routine of, this is how I'm going to spend this day writing. My routine is when I come home from work, when I was going outside to work, I will spend at least 2 hours writing something for that. And sometimes it may take me past that time, but I have a routine, and I will at that time set a deadline for myself, so I am disciplined to meet those deadlines that I set for myself. And the thing of it is that if you go a traditional route, that traditional publisher is going to give you a deadline, so you're going to have to meet that deadline. So you have to have some sort of discipline and a routine to meet that deadline. So as a self-publisher, the same process kind of works. You give yourself that deadline, and you don't want to put it off. So you do have to be disciplined.
So your boundary is that, hey, I work my 9 to 5, and then when I get home, I have 2 hours that are dedicated specifically to writing. That's my boundary.
Yes.
So don't call Teresa Seals if you get off of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's just the point of being I was a single mother and I had 5 children, and so I was working towards getting a bachelor's degree, then working towards my master's. So I actually had to have some type of discipline in place to, accomplish that along the way. So that discipline that I had and the routine that I had for that, I still kind of like take it over today. I get to enjoy myself where I can come home and watch TV and know what's happening on Wednesday night. But it was a time where I didn't know that took place. Like I didn't know Criminal Minds came on, whatever day it came on, because once I got out of work, I had to go to school and, things of that nature. So I keep consistent in the things that I do when it comes to writing.
Awesome. I don't have any questions, and looks like our chat is free of questions. Katrina, do you have anything?
I don't. I think this is very good information. I'm so glad you shared all that you have tonight and that you've joined us. So thank you, Teresa, for coming by, stopping by Kinesis and hanging out with us, all of us from St. Louis. And actually, Christina is in St. Louis as well. So we never told our audience where we're located, but these two are in St. Louis. I am in Massachusetts. So East Coast, Midwest love going on here tonight.
Okay.
But to our audience, thank you for tuning in tonight. Please join us this coming Sunday, April 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Our featured guest is going to be Georgie K. Oakley from Georgie K. Oakley Photography. I get tongue-tied every time I say it, but I did good just now. Discussing what fuels your passion for marketing and photography as a single woman. So until then, remember you are essential to the kingdom of God. Stay on the move. Good night.
Thank you guys. Good night. Perfect.